This week's coffee is going to be Nicaragua, Finca, Moma, Mina, washed. Hello everyone and welcome to In My Mug episode 194. Must stop the singing. On Monday the 30th of July 2012, my name is Steve Layton and I'm sitting on a windowsill. I am sitting on a windowsill, it's a bit weird. Let me explain why. I'm currently in Bolivia. I arrived very late last night. I woke up very early this morning. And I'm here in La Paz. So tomorrow I'm going up to visit some of the farms that we bought from last year. Farms like Loaiza, farms like David Vilca, Cantanuanese, all of those amazing coffees. But for today I'm in La Paz. So I'm acclimatising, getting rid of some jet lag, trying to feel a little bit better. Now La Paz is a beautiful city and somewhere that I'm quite comfortable walking around, but I'm not quite comfortable walking around with that camera. It would be a signal to please come and steal this, as it would be in lots of cities. So I wanted you to see some of La Paz, and that seemed like the best way of doing it. So I hope you can see the view. I hope you can see more of the view than me. It's pretty beautiful and much nicer than the green screen backdrops that we normally have. So yeah, I'm here this week. I'm off to Colombia for next week. So next week's will come in from Colombia, or I may do on one of the farms tomorrow or Monday or Tuesday. Depending if I can, just to give you something different to look at. But it seems like an age since I've done one at the roastery. So last week we were in North Tea Power. Week before I was in Canada. Was I there the week before that? I can't remember. But anyway, it seems like yonks, and obviously a few more to go. But let's talk about In My Mug. If I'm a bit more random than normal today, La Paz is 6,500 metres above sea level, which is incredibly high, which means that breathing is quite difficult and talking is quite difficult. And I'm actually out of breath just sitting here talking to you, which makes you go a bit befuddled in your head. Add to this that I'm befuddled in my head already, so I start from a base fairly high befuddlement, and then I'm jet lagged, and I'm not got much oxygen. So I imagine this week's is going to be weird, so I apologise. As I said at the start, this week's coffee is going to be from Nicaragua, from a farm called Finca Moma Mina. It's in the Jinatenga region of Nicaragua, and it's owned by the Maresh family again. So it's one of these Maresh farms that we bought lots of this year, and we've spent a lot of time working with. First established in 2007, and at the time was called La Manita. First crop came out in 2008, and it was tiny. But at the time, I was travelling in Nicaragua, and I went to go and see this farm, and I went to go and see Limoncillo, Los Altos, a whole heap of farms. Cut this one, and I remember at the time going, oh my days, I need this coffee. So much so, it's stuck in my mind since 2008. So every year it comes around, I've asked if we can have this coffee, and you know, unfortunately the production is so small that Erwin got, sorry, things coming off. Told you it was going to be weird and random today. Yeah, there's you know, so little production and so much demand that we get lots of other things from Erwin, and it didn't seem right to kind of just keep taking. But it's always stuck in my mind. So every year I've said, is there more? And then this year on the visit, we went back to the farm. And it is a beautiful farm. Like, beautiful. I'm going to show you a picture on the screen now. This is of the flowers that they plant in between all of the coffee plants on the farm. It's amazing. Like, why do they do it? Because it makes the farm look beautiful. And this farm, you know, it is really amazing. It was called La Manita, now called Moma Mina, and that named after Mina McEwen, that is Erwin, Stephen and Alani's grandmother, who passed away in 2008 when they renamed the farm. Seems very apt for such a beautiful farm and a beautiful coffee to be named after somebody who I am told, in very glowing terms from Erwin, what an amazing woman she was. You know, kind of growing coffee during times when it was very difficult to grow coffee. You know, Nicaragua has been a very unstable place. It's much more stable now, but in the past has been very unstable. And you know, growing during revolutions and all sorts. So amazing woman. The varietal is a Catura. It is fully washed, so fully washed, submerged in water, in tanks, altitude of 1,250 to 1,375 metres. Yes, I am struggling with breathing. I think that's pretty much it. That's the coffee. I should go make some, shouldn't I? So I've got a choice between a Cantan or a Mr. Coffee. I'm going to show you a picture on the screen now of Mr. Coffee. I never used a Mr. Coffee, but I'm tempted to, because his name is Mr. Coffee, so he must be into his coffee fairly well. I wonder if it's Jason Coffee off Coffee News. No, I don't think it is it? Okay, weird. I'm whapping you on pause. I'm going to go and make drinks. And we are back. So, I'm going to dive straight into... In fact, before I do that, they're beans, so they're not ground, but I am going to do snozzer in the bag because, as I was opening it earlier, it's phenomenal. Now, I know this coffee is pretty floral, but on the aromas, it's super floral. Like, get your nose in the bag before you do any brewing. Its aromatics are super strong on this one, super strong. So, let's go into the brew. Again, I can smell florals. It's a bright coffee. You can smell all of this stuff going on up front. Yep. I told you and I showed you the picture of the flowers. And I would like to say it's because of the flowers that this coffee is particularly floral. But I don't think it is, because when I cupped it back in 2008, I remember it being very, very similar to this as well. And the flowers weren't there then. So maybe the flowers are a side effect of what the cup profile is. It's inspired them to do this. But for me, on the front end, it's like a cup of tea. It's like a cup of black tea. It's like taking me back home all the way from Bolivia to the UK and drinking black tea. But then that floral kicks in. You've got this beautiful kind of... It's like a bouquet of flowers being rammed in your mouth. Jasmine, there's sweetness, but for me the dominating flavour in here is definitely that floral jasmine, coffee blossom, kind of just super floral with the black tea. Different to every single one of the Nicaraguans we have, completely different, like different end of the scale. And that's what excited me about it, I think. It's because it's just so unique and such an interesting cup profile. And you don't know how good that tastes. Here, just a little cup of home. Here, am I getting homesick already? I've only been here 6 hours? No, 8, 9, 10 hours. 10 hours. So I can't be homesick after 10 hours. But yeah, it's a delicious cup. That view's stunning, isn't it? So this is the capital city. Like, this isn't out in the countryside. When you get to the countryside, it's even better. What I am going to do this week is I'm going to do a blog. I started with one on the plane, and I'm going to do something today as well, and Sunday and Monday, and update the blog as and when I can. But go and look at hasblog.co.uk for updates on that, and if you're interested in what we're doing. I'm going to be taking lots of photos, lots of video, hopefully some audio booze, a little bit of writing, mix it all up. Anyway, the coffee. So it's called Nicaragua Finca Mina Washed. It is owned by the Maresh family from Nicaragua. It's in the Jinatenga region. It has an altitude of 1,250 to 1,375 metres. It is a Catura. It is fully washed. and it is fully delicious. And if you're not a subscriber, you should definitely buy this one. This is a coffee that is proper unique. So, some new coffees going on the site this week. A lot of new coffees going on the site this week. Some of them will be in my mugs. In fact, most of them will be in my mugs. Ones that definitely won't be in my mugs is the San Jose Elefante. We have such a tiny lot of it, there's not enough to do for all of the in my mugs. There's an Ethiopian going on soon, which is going to get a lot of people very excited, and that will be an in my mug, but not for a few weeks. We've got so many things lined up already, like new coffees coming on. Costa Rica's will be here soon, Kenya's will be here soon. In fact, by the time I get back, both of those should be at the roastery. So it's exciting times. Always exciting times, but more so than normal. And on the aeroplane, I wrote up 12 coffees to go on the site. So, yeah, it's going to be a busy few weeks. That's not including the Costa Ricans. So, anyway, time to wrap up. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm sorry if this week's been random. You'll have to forgive me. My head is a little bit of a mess. But still, life is too short for bad coffee.